good point. Get I ain't write this down, but get just based off that point, get hold Ephesians 6 and hold that and give me Deuteronomy 20:4 real quick. Did y'all see that video? Yeah. Brother, hold that. That was hilarious.
Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 4. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you.
When you're going through turmoil or affliction or a temptation or something, and it's somebody slandering your name, you may be accused of something you didn't do, and you know you didn't do, or you may be accused you was a part of something that you know you wasn't a part of. Let me tell you something. Based off experience of watching other people go through things and even my own stuff, when you know you're right, when you know you didn't do nothing wrong, like you know for absolute fact you did nothing wrong, there is no reason to fight your own battle. There's no reason to take things or matters within your own hands to try to get results. Because what it does is it makes you look desperate, for one. And two, you're going to end up stumbling because you're going off stuff with your own emotions. Let the Lord work stuff out. He's never abandoned somebody. A brother or sister don't just put in works over and over and over again out of charity of their heart. And then as soon as they go through affliction, he just says, oh, and just turns his back. It don't work like that. Justice is always going to be served. But that's just a testament to your faith. Do you believe that he's going to fight your battle? Or are you going to say, he's taking too long, I got to do this on my own? Because then you look crazy. Say, for instance, a brother get put out, as brothers been doing recently, walking out, getting kicked out, whatever the case is. And then what's one of the first things they do? They go straight to YouTube and try to plead their case and persuade other people that my side of the story is true. That's a lack of faith. I don't care what your rank was when you left. That's a lack of faith. Because if you know you did nothing wrong, regardless of who did it to you, or you truly believe you was doing wrong, the Most High gonna reveal these things. And it makes you look that much better. Because the only thing somebody can say after that brother was in the spirit the whole time. He didn't waver at all. He let the Lord work it out. It took this amount of time, but hey, the brother was right. And you're esteemed, you're giving props. Like the scripture say, a brother gonna esteem you for that, because like that's a diligent brother right there. But when somebody do you wrong, or somebody slander you, or say something crazy, and you just like, no, we must find justice for him. That brother need to be stood up, or that sister need to be stood up, and we gotta do X, Y, and Z. We ain't here for that. We ain't here for that, because when the truth get brought out, guess who everybody gonna be looking at now? All you gonna see is eyeballs. They just gonna look across the room. They gonna be like, Yep. The brother or that sister was right the whole time. Now you looking crazy. Right. Now you feel embarrassed. Now you feeling shameful. Read that again, Deuteronomy 24.
For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you.
Let the Lord work that out, man. It's not that big. It's never that deep. When you look at how stuff going, we going through a little trial in the congregation, or with your family, or whoever it is that's giving you your trial, it's just not that deep. When you compare it to the big picture, what you're going through is very minute. Just take it on the chin and roll with it. Take it on the chin. It's not one good boxer that never, got punched in the mouth. That don't mean to fight over though. You just gotta relax. Take it on the chin, be humble, and let the Lord do his work. Go back to Ephesians 6.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 7. With goodwill doing service as to the Lord and not to men.
And not to men, read.
Knowing that whatsoever good thing that any man doeth.
Anything good that a man doeth, both man or female, any good thing that you do, read.
The same shall he receive of the Lord.
You're going to receive that thing of the Lord. Whether that's in an earthly manner, whether it's a financial gain, whether it's a new job or a promotion, or whatever the case is, you have a bounce of luck roll your way, however you view it. Or it may never come in this earthly form. It may be something that's stored up for you when we leave up out of here. That's why you can't never rush things. Because if you don't get nothing, you don't know what type of treasure is getting stored up for you. We always looking for instant gratification. Read.
Whether he be bearing threatening.
Forbearing what?
Forbearing threatening.
We still getting threatened. That's how you know it ain't talking about that same type of slavery. Read. Or servitude. Read.
Knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him.
Because when judgment comes, it don't matter who it comes to. It don't matter how many pins you have on your shirt, how long your fringes are, how big and tall your hair wrap is. When judgment comes, it's going to come. It don't matter how long you've been here. It don't matter what you did. You're going to get judged for whatever it is you did. Whether we know about it, or the bishops know about it, or deacons, or you may not tell nobody. Next thing you know, everybody wondering, like, why that brother or sister keep going through X, Y, and Z? You getting judged for something.
Right.
correct it and keep moving. Get John 12. We're gonna start at 39. We're gonna start at 39.
John chapter 12, verse 39. Therefore they could not believe, because that Esaias said again, he hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I shall heal them. These things said Esaias when he saw his glory and spake of him.
Who is Esaias, by the way? Everybody understand who that is, right? Isaiah, okay. Read.
Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also, many believed on him.
So there was a lot of chief rulers that believed on him. That was Pharisees and Sadducees included. Read.
But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him.
Read it again.
But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him.
Who was they more concerned with? The Lord or man? The perception of somebody else. Their opinion. Who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? Like, when I walk into a room full of my family, and they all in there talking about Christmas presents or whatever, I walk in there, chin all the way up, chest poked extremely out, as far as it can go, and I'm just hoping somebody says something to me. Because I don't care what none of them think. I really don't. And as soon as they say something, they know what time it is. And it's not going to even be me going back and forth arguing. I'm just going to be saying simple stuff. And it's going to make you mad, because you know you're wrong. It's 2018. Ain't nobody ignorant to what Christmas is. I don't care what nobody say. Prime example, since I don't work with Mendel and Matt no more, I work at Verizon. I'm amongst all amounts of niggardry on a regular basis. Like, I'm talking a regular basis, and I give praises to working with Matt Mendel as long as I did, because I was sheltered from the amount of niggertism that was out here. But when it's my first day, from the time I walked in there last spring to now, it's only the Negroology's only been increasing. Like the niggardry is like at an all-time high. Like the conversations I've been hearing, and they've been trying to get engaged with me in, is everybody in there knows I'm married. Let me tell you about the temptation. This is the wickedness. Everybody in that garage knows that I'm married to some degree. Most of them brothers in there are dealing with some significant other, but you wouldn't be able to tell. We was downtown. We was by the Funk Plaza, putting in some 504 building, and a dude named Daryl. He's probably he may be like 42 or something. So he up in age, he's a grown man, and he sees I guess he saw somebody walking up the street that he just had to look at, and I'm looking at him, looking at whoever he is he's looking at, because my back was to whoever, and he's telling me, he's like, D, man, you gotta see this. I said, nah, I'm good. He's like, what? You ain't gonna look? It's like, no, I'm not. Get out of my face. He's like, oh man, this is crazy, man. You must be. He's like, man, you crazy. Like he's making a huge deal out of it. I'm like, dog, what is wrong with you? You make it sound like you're about to run up and start humping her. Like, relax. Like, relax, like, calm down. It's not that serious. I'm thinking it's gone. I walk away from the situation. I'm like, I ain't about to deal with this niggardry. I'm done. It's like 11 in the morning, so I ain't got time. 20 minutes later, when we surrounded by the other crew members of it, they talking to like 2 other strangers, right? I'm sitting down, I'm just waiting. Well, guess what he does? He brings it back up. He has to make a big, and everybody must know that I didn't look at this girl. He says, hey Mo, this is the old dude again. Hey Mo, you won't believe this. He was like, man, D ain't even turn around and look, man. He ain't even trying to look. Man, it was some bad, this and this and this. I'm sitting there, I'm like, this nigga. I said, really? I said, you wanna really go there? You might wanna look at me. He got these big David Ruffin glasses. And they always sitting on like this upper lip. So he was looking at me, he was like, man. He was like, I can't believe you ain't look. He said, man, reason. He was like, D married. He said, so you trying to tame him and this and that. So I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, man. He says, what the young boy don't know is, it's alright to look. It's this and this and this. I'm like, really, dude? You're married. I said, what's wrong with y'all? We leave. We get to the garage where everybody's in there. I walk in there, he made eye contact with me, I just walk back out. I already knew what it was. I knew we was about to have all 32 men in there trying to scoff and trying to clown. But I'm like, but at the end of the day, though, ultimately, I really didn't care. I just ain't feel like going. I was trying to clock in and go to hell home. But if it wasn't time to go home, I would just went up in there because I would have told everybody in there, what is wrong with y'all? Yeah. Most of y'all married. Most of y'all got kids. And then y'all look at me, a young guy who's married, been married for a few years, and it's crazy that I didn't decide to look at some woman.
Yeah. The thing is that you cut his spirit. That's what you did. And he couldn't let it go.
Right.
That's what happened.
Right. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the niggardry is like multiplied intensely.
Yeah.
And I just had no idea. Like, you see it, and you know, I grew up with it, but when I was sheltered away from it with R&T, you know, I just see it from the outside looking in. But now that I'm amongst the niggas, I was like, yo, I can't even believe this is what their conversation is on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, I've been so removed from it. I'm like, yo, this is like, I can't even compute. Like, the same way people look at us when we go over scriptures and they ain't never heard it, is how I look at them when they talking to me. Like, I'm just like a deer glazed over until they talk about something work related or let's go home. I'm just like, oh, let's go. Because what y'all talking about, the temptation is crazy. I'm just letting y'all know the niggardry I've been going through. So I've been looking like I'm constantly drained. It's just, my nigga meter is just always on 100. But John 12. I'm sorry. Who do you fear? That's the topic.
The book of John, chapter 12, verse 42. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also, many
read quick.
Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also, many believed on him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him.
Because of the Pharisees, because of their perception of other men that was sitting in high places, they didn't confess Christ. We can't be in that situation. I went through all that story, got completely away from the topic. But my point was, regardless of how they try to make you seem like you weird because you don't do certain actions that worldly people do, or you weird because you don't celebrate certain things, man, that's the time you take the most pride. You poke your chest out and like, bro, I know what I'm doing is trying to get me to the kingdom of heaven. Y'all are ignorantly going along with Christmas. Everybody knows Christmas is of the devil. It was brothers in there that celebrated Thanksgiving with their family but never said Happy Thanksgiving because they didn't feel comfortable saying it because they know it's built on slaughtering of the Native Americans and our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters. So it's like, I told him, I said, how could you still go amongst the feast then if you know that it's wicked? Because he's worried about, and he don't have it, and to his credit, you know, not to take up for him, but he don't have the ammunition to really combat it. He just knows that it's wicked. So I couldn't go but so hard, but I'm just like, bro, if you gotta stand on something, stand on something. If you know what you're doing is right, we can't care about how people perceive us. If I say, bro, stop shaving your beard and you catch a fence, I don't really care about what he thinks. Let's be honest. The scriptures say stop shaving your beard. All I said was stop shaving your beard. If you catch a fence, you tearing up, what's wrong with you? You got cut, relax, just let it grow. K right here, he gonna make you right. He gonna get you cut nice, and that's it. Read on.
Lest they should be put out of the synagogue.
Read, and that's what they worried about. Read.
For they love the praise of men more than the praise of God.
And that's pretty much the subject of the entire class. A lot of us, whether we know it or not, we love the praise of men. We love that instant gratification. That instant satisfaction, that attaboy. As soon as you do something, attaboy, that's a good job. You're not going to always get that. You're especially not going to get it from the Lord as soon as you do something. Sometimes He's building up a treasure for you in the kingdom that you can't see. Other times He may bless you with something that you really need in your house or in your life. But you got to have patience and faith that you're not doing it just for a reward. You're doing it because you're supposed to. That's a habit we all got to break. We got to do good things because we're supposed to, not expecting something in return all the time. Read 43 again. Oh, go ahead.
Because what they want to do is they want to have a good boy from their white slave master.
Yeah.
That's their father. I brought that book out a couple of weeks ago about how we're trying to please the white man like he's our father. Because that's how they see us. And that's how we act.
Get Acts 12 and 1.
Acts chapter 12, verse 1. Now about that time Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church.
So this is white man Herod. And he was trying to vex certain of the church. Read.
And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword.
Read.
And because he saw it please the Jews.
It did what?
And because he saw it please the Jews.
They cared more about what Herod is doing and what he's doing to our people. And it pleased them when he did it. These can't be men that was fearful of the Most High. They more scared of what Herod going to do. Then when he afflicts our people, they're celebrating in it. They basking in it. Like they just achieved something. Like he won't do the same thing to them. If a white man came up to your brother and slapped him in the face, and you just because you know that white man, what makes you think he won't slap you in the face? Just because you grew to be acquainted with him, he will slap you in the face.
Right.
Trust me, that's what serpents do. They bite you. Read verse 3 again.
And because he saw it please the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
Get Colossians 3. We can't be worried about what our actions do to perceive and that's perceived in the other in minds of other people. We can't be worried about none of that. If we ain't doing the Lord's work, that's what we're doing it for. If a brother get offended because you simply give him a scripture and it cuts him, you cannot lose sleep over that. How many times were we cut when we came in the truth? When we was watching videos, Truth Will Make You Free videos, and we was watching all these classic videos getting sliced and diced literally all day from watching them. You should expect that when you give somebody a scripture who ain't really used to it and they get cut, you can't be mad. It makes you better. What's the point of being a football player if you never get coached? How you gonna be the greatest? It don't work like that. Nobody enters the NFL, just to use a worldly example. Nobody, a top 10 prospect goes into the league, doesn't never get coached, and he just becomes a top athlete. It don't work. It's the reason it's people here to guide you, to correct you when you're doing something wrong. It's always somebody who knows a little bit more than you. Whenever you're the smartest person in the room, you need to leave. You have nothing to gain. Read. Verse 3 again, I'm sorry.
Colossians?
Yeah, I'm sorry, 3 and 22.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 22.
Yep.
Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers.
Where we read this at? Anybody write it down? Yeah, right in front of you, Ezzy.
Ephesians 6 and 5.
Yep. Make sure y'all precept that.
Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing God.
Fearing who?
Fearing God.
So when you're doing stuff, it's not supposed to be in fear of your supervisor or whoever your master may be in this present time. We got plenty of them. Some of us live with our parents, they are masters. Some of us go to work for other people, they are masters. Supervisors, whoever. Scripture say masters, but it can mean anybody who got authority over you. When we doing good stuff, when we doing righteous actions, it ain't about who we doing it to. It's why we doing it. Why are we doing it? What are we trying to prove? What are we trying to do? Get the kingdom of heaven. If you did something well for somebody and they didn't congratulate you right then and there or heap praise upon your name, so what? It shouldn't bother you. You shouldn't even be fazed by it. Read on.
And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men.
Don't half-ass it. When the scriptures say do it heartily, give it 100%. Don't just, you know what I mean? Don't just tiptoe through the truth. If you're going to correct somebody, stand firm on what you're doing. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You're going to live the correct. That's not going to be the first time you try to correct somebody, you may be wrong. Or you find out the person was right the whole entire time, then the ball's in your pocket, you got to humble down. We can't be worried about what we think about each other in here all the time. The opinions of the people, public opinion, sways left and right constantly. And one day in the media, somebody's a hero. The next day, less than 24 hours later, they're a villain.
That's why you got to be careful what you say to people or speaking evil of somebody. Because sometimes you might speak so evil of somebody, when you find out that you're wrong, you can't even approach that person because you spoke so evil of that person. So you just hold it in and don't say nothing.
A good example is, I believe one of the coaches at Maryland, I think something happened at Maryland University regardless of one of their football players. And the university had made a decision that based off the investigation and things like that, the coach they didn't fire him. They didn't fire the coach because they found that he didn't do anything wrong, right? They didn't stand firm on that. Because soon as that hit the press, and the court of public opinion started seeing on social media, which is God now to most people, they start seeing it, they start having that outcry, man, oh man, this, and this, and this. They see such negative feedback, they're like, oh, you know what, let's renege on that. Now I'm firing him. And the brother, he may not have done nothing. But it just shows you that the perception of how people may perceive you doing something, it changes your whole focus. Now, that judgment is that you were so sure on, now you second guessing. Now you reneging your decision because how somebody else may view what you did. We ain't got time for that in here. If we give out correction according to the scriptures, we have to stand firm on that. Because ultimately we know we're doing it for the righteousness and for the purity of somebody else's soul. So if we know that and we understand that, why should we be upset when somebody cut us with something, with a scripture? Regardless of what your rank is. If I mess up and somebody came up and officer Dane, you gotta do X, Y, and Z. You did that wrong according to this. And I see him, oh, you right. All praises. I've been cut enough to you just acknowledge it and you change it. You don't brush somebody off when they correct you. Oh yeah, right. According to this, you wrong, officer. Yeah. I'm officer 20. I've been here for years.
Yeah. The Most High God's rank trumps everything. If the word's coming out and it's coming from the Most High, it don't matter who you are.
Yep. Read.
Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ.
That's who we serve. We do not serve man. You all sitting right there do not serve the men sitting up here. The greater you are, the more humble you have to be. We're the servants. Christ was a servant. He served us. Still is. Read.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. We ain't got time to be going back and forth. As men, we have to be humble when we get corrected. I know a lot of us may not be used to it. Some of us may have certain upbringings. You know, to each his own in that regard. You can't judge somebody on their upbringing. They wasn't in control of that. But when you get up in here, as time go on, the men in here expect you to become better. To shake off whatever weak nature it is that you came in here with. That man-pleasing spirit. I'm going to be shuck and jive in here to try to just get along with everybody. It don't work. A common saying is when you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. Because you're never going to be 100% in the eyes of everyone. Never. Christ said, for my name's sake, you will be hated by all men. Once we understand that, we can't really hold other people's opinions. We can't give that no weight. It's going to sway left and right based on the things that we do and the things that they hear. We're not in control of that. Who's judging matters ultimately? Who's the one judging the actions? The Most High. That's who we need to be concerned with. When he's probably putting his hand on stuff, then you're going to feel it. He apply pressure like no nobody else. Read 25 again.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of persons.
Ain't no respect of persons. It don't matter how long you've been here, what your age is, what your status is in the world. Nobody is above correction. No man or woman in here. Nobody in here is above correction. It's going to come. And when it comes, you got to make sure you handle it. Don't leave. Even if you're corrected and you're innocent, just take it. Take it on the chin. Because the Most High going to reveal everything anyway. And if you're a firm believer in that, it's not that big of a deal. Get Galatians 2. Start at 11.
Galatians chapter 2, verse 11. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. For before that, certain came from James. He did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision.
Who was he fearing?
Which were them of the circumcision.
Did Peter do anything wrong, eating with the Gentiles? No. But when they came, he withdrew himself. Why? Because he was worried about what the Jews would say. He was worried about what they would say. How would they perceive it? He know what it is. He know what he was doing was of the Lord. Same that goes for men and women in here. We know what we doing is of the Lord when we do stuff in righteousness. But because what somebody else may perceive our works to be, we change up. We hide or remove ourselves from confrontation. Okay, read on. Oh, 13 again, I'm sorry.
Verse 12 or 13? 13. And the other Jews assembled likewise with him, in so much that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
So in the midst of everybody leaving and shifting, Barnabas got carried away. He got shifted off in the waste of people, just like as if everybody at once has started moving out towards the door. People that started off right here might end up in the back to the Manasseh sign, all stomped on because people just moving. We gotta be strong for the Lord, like Ephesians 6 said. We chant that all the time, but we really gotta do it, both men and women, especially when family confronts us. That's when a lot of people, especially the young ones who may still interact with their parents a lot or their family a lot, that's when you have to stand the strongest, because don't nobody try to tear you down like family members do when you step up in here. You stop celebrating all the holidays, you might as well be Hitler. That's just how it is. You got to stand strong for that, though. You think you personally killed Jesus by not celebrating these things the way they treat you sometimes. That's not our problem.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just not our problem. That's just how I look at a lot of stuff. You get, you get up in your feelings, you get super salty. That's not my problem. Especially when I know I'm doing stuff out of love and out of righteousness. If I did something mean towards somebody with ill intent, and they reacted a certain way, they got mad or upset, then I will feel some type of way because I'm wrong. And I'm aware that I'm wrong. But when I know I'm doing something out of the purity of the spirit for somebody else, and they get upset, I'm like, bro, look, I don't know why you upset. Neither do I care. But here's the scriptures on why you should not be upset. And you still won't get this work. And I expect everybody to do that the same thing to me too. This ain't no one-way street. I expect everybody to treat me the way I treat them. And we believe what Leviticus 19 say, you shouldn't be scared because you should be treating people as best you can all the time. So when somebody give you a reaction, you gotta wonder what made them react to you that way. What you say? What you do? You know? Get John 5 and 39.
John chapter 5 verse 39. Search the scriptures.
Do what?
Search the scriptures.
Read.
For in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me.
Read.
And ye will not come to me that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men.
Christ said what?
I receive not honor from men.
He received not honor from men. What makes you think you will?
Right.
He did nothing wrong from the time he was born, literally, to the time of his death. Nothing wrong. No sin, no guile, no nothing. What makes you think us coming out of our walks of life, being in the midst of all types of craziness and foolishness, we just going to reap the honor of men everywhere we turn because now we've been in here for a few months. We still the same person we've been when we came in here a few months ago. We ain't fully changed yet. Repentance is a full-time job. You know? Read on.
But I know you, that ye have not the love of God in you. I am come in my Father's name, and he received me not. If another shall come in his own name, him ye will receive.
If another come in his own name, I mean, he not coming with the Lord. He coming with the pride and esteem of himself. Officer Super Captain Bezalel. He ain't coming in the name. I gotta use your example, brother. He not coming in the name of the Lord. He not coming teaching the Lord's doctrine. He coming teaching his own. Those are the people we gotta be worried of, but at the same time, those are the ones that we seek praise from the most. Those are the ones that we seek praise from the most. The ones that we esteem to be mighty men up in here are the ones that we follow closely. So when they fall, our foundation ain't of the scriptures, it's of that particular person that fell. So when they fall, we fall. And we can't be like that. It can't be a domino effect anytime somebody leaves out of here. You know how when you tip one domino over, they all fall over? It can't be like that in here. When one fall over, we pray for that brother, Lord's will, we can reach that brother, and he comes back in. But we all can't just fall out because one person fell. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Not no more. If I try to correct somebody on an issue and they didn't listen and judgment comes, it passes on them, I'm going to feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I pray the brother would listen. After that, you can't really do too much for him. You know what I mean? So don't even fret. There's going to be plenty of people like it. Like the bishops and deacons always say, this truth ain't nothing but a revolving door. I'm sure they don't even remember people's names anymore because they see so many people come and they go. You know?